Ready for overflow. Ready for overflow. All right, y'all. I'm live. I'm live. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Happy Saturday. Good evening, everyone. Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday, everybody. Happy Saturday. Ready for overflow. As you guys are coming in, let me know where you guys are logging in from. Happy Saturday. Let me know where you're logging in from in the chat. Let me know where you are logging in from the chat. I'm logging in from Queens. Drop your city in the chat. I'd love to know where you guys are logging in from. Where are you guys logging in from? Drop your city in the chat. Okay, so if you guys are new to this page, welcome back to my YouTube page. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. My name is Janice. I'm the retail genius. Alexa, pause. I am Janice, the retail genius, and I am super excited to be going live tonight. Can y'all hear me okay? Let me know if y'all can hear me okay. Drop a yes in the chat if y'all could hear me okay. I don't know if my Instagram people. I have some people on Instagram. Hey, Instagram friends. Hi friends. Let me know in the chat where you guys are logging in from if you're watching me from Instagram. So I am going live tonight from YouTube, Instagram, and I think Facebook. So wherever you guys are showing up, let me know in the chat where you guys are showing up from. Let me know in the chat what city you are logging in from or what city you are looking to open your beauty supply store, because I know that's why y'all are on this live today, because we're going to be talking about um, some steps to get started in the fourth quarter here of 2024. You know, it is the last day of August. September is here, then October. So we are basically at the end of the year, y'all. And so I know that there is a whole bunch of y'all on here who are like, I didn't even get started. So tonight I'm going to share some quick steps, some quick helpful tips for you guys to get started with your beauty supply goals Q4, because we're going into Q4. So Q4 is basically the first day of 2025, to be honest. The last quarter is like, if you didn't get started, you want to at least get one thing done in this entire journey of opening a beauty supply store. There's lots of steps, there's lots of milestones that you need to accomplish. And so if you are getting started in Q4, you want to stick around to the very end of this live, because I'm going to not only be sharing with you guys some quick steps to actually get started in this journey, but also I'm going to be actually launching what I'm really excited about, my 5-day intensive with you guys. I'm going to be dropping that at the end, so stay around for that. I have some gift cards I'm giving away as well, some Amazon $25 gift cards as well for people who sign up for the 5-day essentials intensive. If you don't know anything about what I'm talking about with this 5-day thing, that means you're probably not on my email list, or you're probably not in our private group on Facebook. So before we even get started, if you guys are not in our private mentorship group on Facebook, it is called the Black Beauty Supply Power Circle group. It's on Facebook. This is our private group where you get all the tea before everybody else does. So Black Beauty Supply Power Circle. I'm gonna drop that in the comments here on YouTube. If you're not watching me on YouTube, y'all need to come on YouTube It's called the Black Beauty Supply Power Circle Group. And if you're not a part of this group, you need to be a part of this group, because this is where I'll share everything with y'all. Shout out. This is where I share everything with y'all before I share it publicly. Y'all get all the tea first. All right. So let's get started, y'all. Welcome again. Welcome again. If you're watching me for the first time, my name is Janice Fredericks. I'm the Retail Genius Online, and I help entrepreneurs get into the $17 billion beauty supply industry, and helping them create stores that is going to be legacy building stores, stores that's for generational wealth, stores that's going to create financial freedom, and most importantly, stores that are going to create a change in the way Black women have historically purchased their products. So that is like the mission of what we do here at my agency. Um, we pride ourselves in not only opening Black-owned beauty supply stores, but profitable stores. That's number one, actually. It's not number two, it's number one. Because it doesn't mean anything to open a Black anything if it's not profitable. So profitability is number one. So that's like our mission. That's our goal. I have a personal goal, y'all. I have a personal goal of seeing at least 40 more stores get open in Q4. As y'all know, I have a lot of store launches that are happening right now in this season. It is actually store launch season. So if you guys have been following me, you know my story. I actually opened my store in September of 2010 called Fabulous Freddy's here in my hometown of Queens, New York, where all my New Yorkers at. And we ran those stores for 8 years. And then I retired that part of the business and then went into consulting full time, because I saw that there was a huge need for this information. Starting a beauty supply store is not something that you can really Google online. There's not a lot of people who've been in the industry long enough to teach on it. And so I decided to really go with this full time and hang my hat up as a retailer and put on my coach and consultant hat. So that's what I've been doing for the past 7 years, is consulting and coaching people how to open their own profitable beauty supply empires. And over the years, we've helped people generate well over 10 million in revenue for our Black-owned beauty supply stores. In 2020 alone, it was 3 million with just the stores that we helped. And since then, that's gone into double digits, which I am super proud of, because my clients are absolutely killing it. And not only are they killing it and becoming entrepreneurs and really creating their own destiny, but they're feeding their family, they're hiring their children. Like this is the American dream. And so it's such a great thing to see when people go step out on faith, even if they've never seen it done in their own family. We now have so many people that have done it that look like us, where we can feel inspired and actually do it ourselves. So that's what we do, right? But there's a few things that I have noticed over the past couple of years. There's a blueprint. There is a roadmap to success. If you guys have been following me, you see the type of stores that we create. They don't look like what we're used to. Like this ain't that. This ain't that. And it's so important to create your own lane in beauty supply. I don't want to get ahead of myself, but it's so important to create your own lane and beauty supply. Like I created my own lane 10 years ago and I was very successful and I made a lot of money, and my store was very, very small, and I started with very limited money. But I was so passionate about making a change in this industry and giving women the experience, and not women, Black women, let's be clear, giving Black women the experience that we so deserve. We're so deserving because we spend so much money in this industry. We spend so much time and money in beauty and in this industry. We deserve a luxury, great experience in our beauty supply stores. And I set out to create that experience just off of that. And that brings me into my tips. So let's get into it, y'all. Let's get into it. So I'm going to talk about I'm going to talk about five things that you need to go through in order to set yourself up for success as a beauty supply store owner. This is some of the fundamental things that you need to prepare yourself. So this is really for people who are at the very beginning stages, right? You're just trying to get your ducks in a row, and maybe you're trying to get it together with funding, and you just need to be clear on certain things. Um, and my hope is for that you will take these steps and you would execute. Like, I never want to do these trainings and lives in vain. I want y'all to take these steps, and I want you to go ahead and execute. So the first step goes into what I was saying about like wanting to create my own lane. So the first thing you want to do is actually research. You want to research the market. You want to see what the trends are right now, and then you want to do some deeper research in your own community. People don't really do that these days, but this is something that I did. You want to like understand what it is that the community is looking for in a beauty supply store, because you want to create something different than what they're used to. We're all used to the large, mega beauty supply stores. They're huge. They have everything for everyone. I knew that that was not me. I don't shop at Walmart. I like Target, right? And before there was a Target, right? Someone had to say to themselves, I don't like this shopping experience. I want something a little bit more cleaner. I want something a little bit more organized, um, something different. So you don't have to create this cookie cutter beauty supply store to be successful. Like, why copy and paste what the Asians have done, what the Arabs have done? The Asian and Arab stores look the same, by the way, very identical. It's just like a big old store, and let's like just throw product in it, product overwhelm. And I personally, that's not me. And so you have to identify your target audience, right? Your avatar, right? Who is that one woman that I want shopping at my store? Is she like me? Is she like, are you the person who likes a more intimate experience, conversation, niche aisles? Like, what does that experience look like for you? So one thing that I was thinking about when I started my beauty supply store, and again, my store, y'all, was 800 square feet here in Queens, New York. It was 800 square feet of space. It was a boutique store. I knew that I wanted something quaint, intimate, and boutique-ish. Um, and everyone around me, including the mentor that I had at the time, was like, don't try to do this cute stuff. You don't need no chandeliers. You ain't need to make it cute. Just put all your money into inventory. You don't need to do this ambiance. Because I was talking about like all this cute things that I wanted to do. And he was like, just put all your money into the inventory and don't be worried about that. And I've heard that before by another company. I ain't gonna say no names, but it's ran by a man. And I'm like, I understand what you're saying, and from a male perspective, that could make sense from a male perspective. But who is shopping in my store 90% of the time? Is it men or is it women? It's women. So I'm gonna do my own thing when it comes to the type of store I want to set up, because I know what Black women want. I know what Black women want. So you need to know what your demographic want. You need to cater to them. We have clients that cater to professional hairstylists. We have clients that cater to more of the everyday girl. We have clients that cater to like older women, older demographic. You have to know who that is so that you can create that experience around them. You catering to, if you're in a college town and it's like a younger demographic, like you have to build a store based on that demographic. If it's younger girls, it's got to have a young vibe. It's got to have the the popping fast music. It's got to be pink. It's got, all of those things to attract them. This is the type of research that I did to make sure that I was like, again, carving out my own lane. I don't want to look like nobody else, because when you come in here, you are going to feel like, oh my goodness, this is my store. This is my store. Your community needs to say that about your store. They need to come into your store and feel like this is my store. That's number one. Number two, you definitely need to analyze the competition. So you don't want to copy and paste anything that you're doing, but you want to look at the other stores in the area. You want to know, what are they doing well? What are they doing well? Okay, and understand that landscape. 9 times out of 10 is probably pricing. It's probably pricing, right? But that's also going to help you develop your own niche, because we are never competing on price, ever. I've been saying this for years. We are never, ever competing on price. We don't want to. That's not our game we playing. Don't do it. Drop that in the chat, because that is a big gem that I want everybody to take away from this. Because if you don't understand this information, you will come in, you'll go ahead to these other stores and be like, oh, I'm going to price match them. We do not play that type of game, because off rip, from the very beginning, we don't get the prices that they get. So we can't compete on prices the way they compete on prices over there. So we just don't do that. Drop that in the chat, please. Drop that in the chat. We don't compete on price. We don't compete on price. Next thing, you also need to be paying attention to the trends that are happening right now, and some of the trends that you are seeing for the future. Some of the popular trends that you are seeing for the future. So when I got started, which was, again, in 2010, so like over a decade ago, that was like the start of the natural hair care movement. Women were starting to like do the big chop. They were shaving their heads. Like, that was the trend of that time. This was really before the blow up of all the natural hair care products. And it was such a fun time too. I miss those days. But what I noticed was that, like, we were doing the big chops, but like we had no idea what to do with our hair. We were so lost, right? And that was the space that we were in. Like, we were in a heavy educational space with natural hair, because we have never done this before. Like, we've been rocking perms since the early 80s. And so now we're trying to figure out, like, what do we do? So it was like everybody was confused. Like, I'm doing this big chop, but I don't know what to do after that. So me understanding that we were in this trend of like heavy education and research and all of these different, things were coming about. Like, I was like, okay, I need to be heavy on education. Like, I need to be the place where we're going to be doing like educational series and, do-it-yourself series. And that is the type of content that I created, not only for like my social media, but like in-store events. Right? So you need to pay attention to what's happening. Those are trends, right? So that's step number one, is the research, understand the market, understand what people are looking for. So action item for that is you need to be looking at these online forums. You need to have at least, I would say, 5 to 10 forums and spaces just in general that you are going to look at least like on a weekly basis, so that you can understand your market, you can understand these trends, and you can create your own lane in beauty supply, right? Social media groups, influencers, all of those people. These are all of the things that I was doing, 2 decades ago when I started my store. I was following all the hair influencers in New York City. I was looking at all the YouTube pages. I was studying natural hair. Like, we created like, now y'all will call it ebooks, but like we created like little pamphlets for people in the store for them to like understand like how to care for their hair and what to do with the products. So it is a lot still that you can do today in terms of like the educational component, because we still have so much to learn about our hair. It's still a journey, and your beauty supply store could be that safe place for people to go to and get that information. Okay. So number two, once you do all that research, you need to start working on your business plan. Whether you fund this business yourself or you get a loan, a business loan, investors, whatever the case may be, it doesn't matter. Because I've heard this before, people not wanting to do this business plan because they're funding it themselves. You want to do this plan because you want to have a roadmap of how you're going to operate this store. You need to have a budget, right? Because if you have no budget, if you have no outline of like how you're going to be spending this money, whether it's your money, your 401k money, or a loan, you need to have an outline of how you're going to spend this money, where when you're going to spend this money. You need to have an outline of your milestones. You need to have an outline of your marketing plan, your operations, your systems. All of these things need to be in place. You need to have an idea of what you want your revenues to look like for the first 3 years, right? Banks want to see the first 3 years. If you're doing this yourself and you're self-funded, 12 months is fine. But I would say you want to be able to project over the first 24 months what the revenues are going to look like, what the expenses are going to look like, so you can really understand how much money you need. Because one of the biggest problems in starting a store is people are just underfunded. Like you don't have enough money to do this. You didn't take out enough money. You don't have enough money, and so financial planning is a big component of the business plan. So it doesn't need to be anything elaborate, but you need to have a simple outline, a simple spreadsheet of what this is going to look like for you. The business plan needs to drive home what is going to be different about your store and why. And I say this all the time, guys, that you cannot simply say that, oh, it's the first Black-owned beauty supply store. We got to be successful. We're going to be successful. It's the first Black one in the community. That doesn't equal success. And that's not a selling point, right? That's not a selling point. It's the cherry on top. It is the cherry on top. So again, making sure that you go back to step one and you have that lane built out for your beauty supply store. That's going to help a lender buy into why this is important, that we have these physical spaces in our community. That is going to drive that home, because they still don't understand it. You go to the SBA, they're still going to ask you, like, why aren't you doing this online? Why do we need a physical store in the community? Can you explain that? You have to be able to explain how Black women shop for their stuff. The beauty supply store for us, right, is like the bodega here in New York, right? It is the Black girls bodega. And if you're from New York, you know what a bodega is. It's the little convenience store that is on every corner in every hood. This is what the beauty supply store is for Black women. We are not going online for our stuff. We need to walk in because we need it now. I have a braiding appointment now. I have my hair appointment. My kids need a hair done. We need to walk into a space now. And so that's really important for you guys to understand when you're building out this business plan, because you need to articulate in any business plan, y'all. You need to be able to articulate the buying behavior of your demographic. So when we're talking about the buying behavior of Black women, we need our stuff right now. So this is a thing of convenience, and we need an experience. We need that experience. Those are the two things that you need to drive home in that plan, especially if you're talking to bankers, investors. You need to clearly communicate why we need this store in our community, beyond the fact that we just need more Black-owned beauty supply stores, right? Beyond that. Okay. Once step two is done, now we can get to the money, which is the biggest obstacle for people getting started. Everybody wants to do this business. Everybody wants this beauty supply store. It has a considerable amount of cash flow on the other side, but it's getting to the funding to open the store so that you can see what those cash flows actually look like. That is the obstacle for most people. Okay. So with the right business plan, with the financial projections to back up that business plan, this is how we secure our funding. Um, One thing I will say about being self-funded is that 9 times out of 10 you might not have enough money. I was self-funded when I got started with my store. If I can go back in time, I would use OPM, which is other people's money. This is how the other people do it. They're not self-funding. They're not, you know, taking out 401ks and things like that. But this is what a lot of us think that we have to do. We have to take out our 401k. I took out my 401k to open my store, but you don't have to do it like that. The SBA, and I've been talking about this for a while, the SBA has a lot of programs for you to get business loans. However, you do need that business plan. You do need the financial projections. You need all of these things to get it off the ground. Another way to get this funding is through crowdfunding, which is another thing that I did. There's a certain way to do crowdfunding too. This is not just like it's not GoFundMe. So don't think it's GoFundMe because that's different. Crowdfunding is like, hey, I want to get my community together and I want them to invest into this dream of a store of mine. So I did crowdfunding on Indiegogo and got $12,000 when I was going to open my Brooklyn location. When I was going to open my Brooklyn location, I did crowdfunding on the Indiegogo platform, and we were able to get $12,000 for our Brooklyn location. So for people who believe like it's not going to work or it's going to be a waste of time or people are not going to care about this, most of that $12,000 were from people I did not know. And because I put a lot of time and effort into everything in that crowdfunding campaign, it was a success, right? The goal was to get $12,000 and we raised $12,000 because there's a certain way of putting that together, right? So that's step number 3 is securing the funding, making sure your store is not underfunded, making sure that you have the market research done, right? So that you can go ahead and execute on everything that you have created. And lastly, making sure that you have that simple, like I said, the simple blueprint of like, where is this money going to go? How am I going to spend it? And the milestones of all of that as well. The 4th step is finding reliable vendors. So we all know inventory, right? Inventory is the backbone of your beauty supply store. It is the largest asset on your balance sheet. You need to make sure that number 1, that you have reliable vendors in place, vendors that are going to allow you to be a profitable beauty supply store. Now, I share this story all the time about when I got started. I had wasted $20,000 just with the wrong vendors. Vendors they're a key in this industry. And if you get stuck with the wrong people, because now there's so many vendors out there, there's so many scammers out there, you want to make sure that you are with the right vendors, because this is going to be the way that you compete, right? Pricing is key. I said that we don't compete on pricing, but you need to make sure that you have the right vendors in place so that you can be profitable, right? Number 1. Number 2, the vendors need to be reliable, right? A lot of y'all are going, to China and try to get these vendors. They're in business one day and then they're out of business the second day. So when you go back to purchase again, you can't even get the same product at the same pricing because the vendor is gone. You need to make sure that these vendors are reliable. That's the second thing. So what does the shipping look like? How do you ship? The invoicing, all of that needs to be in place, right? For you to lock in with a vendor. Okay. You also need to have multiple suppliers on deck all the time, right? I like to have 4 to 6 vendors on rotation because I'm always looking for the best pricing. I'm always looking for the vendors that are going to ship me my stuff the fastest, right? You want to always be looking at different. It's like dating. You want to maybe not dating, but you just want to make sure that you have a good rotation at all times, that you have a backup for every product category in your store, that you have your main vendors, but then you also have a backup. And then, like I said, you're always looking for new vendors. You're always ordering new catalogs, looking through the price books. Comparing pricing is like a job that never ends. As long as you are a retailer, you're always going to be looking at the different pricings. You're always going to be negotiating terms. You don't have to take what they give you. Everything is up for negotiation, especially because we know that just as African Americans in this industry that's still heavily dominated, now we're still not getting fair pricing. So that's something that you always need to know, have in the back of your mind, that you need to negotiate. Okay. The other thing I want to say about inventory and vendors is that as the retailer of the business, you always want to be at the trade shows, at the beauty expos, anything beauty in your community. You should 100% be there as the buyer of your business. This is a part of the job. Going to these expos, making sure that you are looking at all these vendors and the new things that they have and the new trends, hair shows. Like, these are places that you must be at as the buyer of this business. So it's really, really important that you make time in your schedule throughout the year to lay out what expos I'm going to go to, what expos do I actually want to vend at, not just attend, but be a vendor. Like, so there's lots of expos that you definitely want to be a vendor at, or beauty events, anything where you can sell in your community. You want to definitely show up. One site, and I'm going to move on. One site that was paramount for me was Eventbrite. I had in my mind as a retailer that I wanted to be a vendor at an event, at any beauty event, at least once a month. At least once a month, I want to make sure that I'm showing up in New York City. Doesn't matter what borough. No, let me not say it didn't matter what borough. I'm not going to the Bronx. I want to make sure that I'm showing up in the boroughs that I want to show up in, with my table, with my products, to let people know, hey, there's a Black-owned beauty supply store that you want to support because, we're here for you, right? So that is a part of it too. Don't forget to show up. Last step that I want to mention is making sure that you have a marketing strategy in place for your store. So we talked about the first step, which was creating that niche, carving out your own lane, doing the market research, getting funding, all the way to this place where, like, okay, now we have funding. We want to get started. But I want you guys to remember the marketing. Marketing is so important. And you need to make sure that you have a strong marketing strategy in place, because this is going to help you not only find your customers, but also retain your customers. So I told you guys, like, I was heavy on the education, right? That was my thing, was really educating women and having in-store events. These are the things that we talked about on our Facebook pages, on our Instagram. My Instagram page for my store is still live. I never took it down. But we were always sharing beauty tips. We were always doing surveys, asking people for feedback, asking for, engagement, things of that nature, because we want to continue to build a store that's for the people. Like, this is not for me. This is not a store for me. This is a store for the community. And so as long as you have that mindset, you will be successful. You will be successful. So making sure that you have a marketing strategy in place, because, historically with beauty supply stores, it's like, we're just going to set up and the people are just going to come, build it and they will come. Now, that we have a lot of Black-owned beauty supply stores, like, we need to market our stores, because we are giving our people a different experience and they need to know about it. That's marketing. Like, they need to know that these new age stores are here and we are heavy on the experience. We are heavy on customer service. Like, we are here to serve Black women, and the community needs to know about it. So start planning your marketing strategy now. And it's not just selling, y'all. Let me leave y'all with this also. It's not to put up an Instagram page where you're just going to be selling products all day. Selling needs to be, like, I would say 20% of your marketing strategy. But 70, 80% of your marketing strategy needs to be educational, um, DIY, how to do this, getting feedback from your community, like giving events in your store, like that needs to be like 70% of your marketing strategy. No one wants to go to anyone's business page, Instagram page, or whatever, and all you do is just sell product all day, post product all day. That's what a website is for. So we want to make sure like a marketing strategy is in place. Like what kind of content is going to be valuable for my customer? What kind of content is going to be valuable where they would thank me for this piece of content? Where they thank me for showing up to this live, right? Will you thank me for being here? Okay. So marketing strategy, so action plan for that is create and start working on the marketing strategy now. Think about just different ways that you can create buzz around this new store, right? So most of y'all are at like beginning stages. You don't have no store yet. And this is a question I get often. It's like, I don't have no store yet. I don't know what I'm going to be talking about. I just want you to go to Instagram, open up Instagram, and type in like black hair care, any of those hashtags. You will see a million paid hair pages that have nothing to do with beauty supply stores, but just hair content pages. Hundreds of thousands of followers because they're just giving out value on their pages. People want to see value. So when you don't have the store, that is like the best time to build your tribe. That look at these hair pages that have hundreds of thousands of followers and literally study what are they posting. Like what's their marketing strategy? Like what's their content strategy? Right? They are just letting people know like this is how you do your hair. This is how you do a deep conditioner. Like this, like just educate the people. Just educate the people, guys. Just educate the people. Um, and your customers will engage. Your future customers will engage. And then when you do have something to sell, they are going to come to you first to buy it because you are the source for them, right? So you just want to make sure that you are like positioning your store, your future store, to be that source so that when you do open, you will have a line outside the door and you're not even giving away TVs. You won't have a line outside the door just because this is your tribe that you have built before the store was built. That is powerful, y'all. And that is the power of marketing. That is the power of social media. And this is all free. You do not have to pay for any of this. To be on any of these platforms, you don't have to pay. Okay. Let me know if that makes sense for y'all. Let me know if that makes sense for y'all in the chat. Give me some hearts if this is helpful. Give me some hearts in the chat if this was a helpful mini training. I really enjoyed this conversation, y'all. Give me some hearts. If you're on YouTube, go ahead and like and subscribe and drop me a comment, please, because y'all know my love language is words, it's affirmation. So let me know in the comments. I appreciate it. So I am excited, y'all, because I am doing a 5-day challenge next month, September 9th through the 13th. I'm doing a 5-day intensive. So over these 5 days, we are going to like deep dive into how to jumpstart your beauty supply journey. Every single day is going to be a live training on Zoom, where I'm going to be going through my core curriculum with you guys live. And a huge part of the 5-day intensive really is going to be for you to position yourself to actually get funding. Because a lot of you guys don't really know, what are the items that I need to obtain funding for my store? What are the things that people are looking for, like in the business plan? What vendors do I need? Who are the lenders? There are specific lenders that you do need to look into. Like, what are specific lenders? All of that's going to be happening over the 5-day intensive, right? right? So it's going to be a live training every single night. I'm going to be on Zoom going through a module. So every single day is going to have a module, it's going to have a training, and it's going to have homework. You guys are going to get a workbook for the 5 days so that you can go along. So in the workbook that I created for you guys over the 5 days, it's going to go through pretty much the big major milestones that you need to have accomplished to get your store started. So every single day, we're going to be going over a big milestone. So that's why it's called an intensive, because I'm going to be packing a lot of information into these daily live trainings. So there's the trainings, then there's going to be the action item, homework. I know some of y'all don't like homework, but it's action items. So action items that you need to do, because not only is this a training, of course, but it's also going to be like a little bit of a workshop, I would say. So we're going to be working as well. And I'm going to have there's a VIP option. There is a VIP option, and the VIP option, you're going to get a private Q&A session to ask questions after we do our little training. So there's a general option, and then there's a VIP option. And if you're anything like me, you do VIP everything. So I suggest that, I think in anything you should always do like the greater option that is going to give you the greatest bang for your buck. So the VIP option is the private Q&A on top of the workbook, as well as a one-on-one strategy session after the 5 days is over, a one-on-one session with myself of pretty much how you need to move forward after the 5 days is over. Okay, so that's the VIP. That is the VIP. And so I got that link in the chat for you guys. I don't know if I could drop it on IG. I'm going to see if I can. Okay, so if you go to the retailgenius.com, you can go ahead and sign up for the 5-day intensive. This 5-day intensive, I'm really excited for, because I haven't done anything like this in a while. And so I'm really excited to do a 5-day event with y'all. I'm really excited for it. I haven't done this in a while. You know, I've been really focused on the stores that I have as like my private one-on-one clients. And so what I did notice, and what prompted me to do this, is quite a few of you weren't able to get into my last launch. And so I definitely want y'all to have something to do next. I hate to leave people hanging. I want you to do something next. Like I need momentum to take place, because the worst thing you can do is say to yourself, I'm going to do something, you know, next year, or when it comes back around again. Y'all never know when I'm going to do something back around again. Y'all never know that, because I tell you every single time, I don't know how I'm going to feel when I wake up tomorrow. Okay. So this is going down. It's going down the second week of September. And I told y'all I did have some raffles. I was giving away some money, which I am. The first 3 people that sign up, y'all going to get a $25 Amazon gift card from me, because I love people that are action takers. I love people that are decision makers. So don't tell yourself that you're going to sign up later. Sign up now, because you could be one of the 3 to get a $25 Amazon gift card. A lot of y'all got kids going back to school. My kids are going back to school. So I would love an Amazon anything at this point. So yes, for the first 3 people that sign up, you guys are going to get an Amazon gift card from your girl, me to you. Also, during this challenge, I am giving away a POS system. I did this the last time. I did this like last year. I gave away a POS system, one of my favorite ones for your store. So when you sign up, you could be a lucky winner to give away the POS system. But You have to sign up and you have to show up all 5 days to enter that raffle for the POS system. So I'm really excited. Also, I didn't mention this, there is a bonus that I have for the 5 day intensive. Oh, my camera's weird. Okay, here we go. Don't do that to me. So the bonus is you're also going to get course access. Also going to get this course that we did 3-4 years ago called Icons of Beauty Supply. Now this live event was a summit that we did. It was me and some heavy hitters in the beauty supply industry, some of the most successful beauty supply owners. We did a summit. It was a multiple day summit. And when I tell you this was one of the best historical beauty supply summits ever, it was. And so I'm giving you guys course access to that summit. It's got about, I want to say maybe 8 or so different training modules from different beauty supply industry experts, beauty supply store owners who have $1 million businesses, $1 million stores, beauty supply stores. So you guys are going to get bonus course action to that summit. And when I tell you the access to that summit is worth the entire investment to have portal access to that, I really do mean that. So yeah, go to theretailgenius.com to get in the building for that. If you guys have any questions, you can drop it in the chat. I am excited for you guys to join me today on a Saturday. I appreciate you guys tuning into me live. I'm always super appreciative when I got people in the room to listen to what I have to say, because, I really am passionate about opening up more Black-owned beauty supply stores. It is such a mission of ours to make sure that not only do these stores get open, but they get open in a very profitable way. So I'm going to log off here. If you guys have any questions, you can DM me. But the website is theretailgenius.com for general access. It is only $97. The VIP is $197. And again, if you are someone who is serious about this, you definitely want to get VIP, because we're going to have a private Q&A session after each live training, so that you'll be able to ask questions, pick my brain, get feedback on your action items that I'll be giving you guys every single day. You're also going to get a post strategy session with myself, one-on-one session with myself, so that we can create your blueprint going forward. And then of course you guys are going to get access to the workbook, which is also going to include my vendor list and my lender list. It's really, really important. You need to know who the vendors are, and you need to know who the lenders are. So VIP people, you guys are going to get access to those 2 things as well. All right. So God bless you guys. Love you so much. Thank you so much for tuning in, and y'all have a blessed evening.